Coming up next on this edition of In the City. Phase 1 improvements on Brinkley Road have been completed and will make walking and bike riding safer. Also, a historical marker honoring Dr. James Patterson was unveiled. Plus, the annual Juneteenth event brings the community together to celebrate Freedom Day. And a development plan of city-owned property will draw more attention to the downtown area. We'll tell you all about those stories and more coming up right now on this edition of In the City. Welcome to another edition of In the City, your source for what's happening right here in the city of Murfreesboro. I'm Michael Linn White. Completed Phase 1 improvements on Brinkley Road includes a new bridge over Lytle Creek near Blaze Drive that offers pedestrian access to a nearby neighborhood.
Brinkley Road Phase 1 has been completed, which is the construction of a new bridge across Overall Creek near Blaze Drive with pedestrian access. This access will provide a safe mode of passage for walkers and bike riders.
You know, I don't live too far from this area. You know, my kids had to walk across the bridge with no sidewalks or anything, and that's something we want to eliminate. You know, we've got a lot of residential area here that all serves back to the Blackman School District. The Blackman area in general is probably one of our heaviest pedestrian users in the entire city, except maybe for the downtown area where, of course, we've got a lot of pedestrian. But as far as just walkers and bikers, so we decided to go with the multi-use path out here. It can handle walkers and or bicyclists. So we tore out the old bridge completely. So that meant that we really had to be strategic on the new phase of the bridge that we were constructing and made sure that it was enough for 2 lanes. Folks are really great to work with. The HOA, some of the area, you know, we tried to keep them informed, so we tried to kind of stay ahead of the process. So it was a challenging project. Contractor did great. Bell Construction out of the Nashville, Brentwood area just did a phenomenal job as far as staying with it and working with us on changes that we had to do as far as, you know, as far as the project moved along.
Brinkley Road Phase 2 will be the widening of the road from Manson Pike to Franklin Highway, from a 2-lane ditch road to a 3-lane road with curb and gutter.
The city of Murfreesboro, thanks to the city council and their support of us, you know, we're one of the biggest road builders in the state. If you just look just the number of projects that we do and really the cost of projects, we do some small projects now. You know, we still jump in and do an intersection project, but we used to, you know, we kind of specialize in the $1 million, $2 million projects. You know, we're up to, you know, $10, $15 million projects now. We're really looking for the volume meters as we continue to grow to be able to move more traffic more expeditiously through the city. And that all goes back to the city council. I can't say enough, thank them enough for their support of the you know, of the transportation program. And because of that, we've had a lot of practice at it. Our inspectors are top-notch. They're as good as they come. The consultants that we work with are used to the ways that we do projects, and it's just really just a complete team effort.
Dr. James Patterson dedicated his life to helping others and the community and is honored with a historical marker at Patterson Park Community Center. Dr. James Patterson was a trailblazer in our community, and now he is once again being honored with a Tennessee historical marker.
In Murfreesboro, he was there to help people in any way that he could. So he was a very deserving person of this honor that we're doing today.
Patterson, a World War I veteran, practiced dentistry in Murfreesboro for over 40 years. His passion for the community and helping others set him apart, and many say Murfreesboro wouldn't be the same without him.
Everything you ever read about Dr. Patterson, it talks about him improving race relations in Murfreesboro and how much he gave back to his community. And those are big deals.
Many people in the community have stories of Dr. Patterson, and one certain trait was mentioned more than once.
His laugh was different. I don't know if anybody mentioned that, but he was like, that was his laugh. And it took me a minute to get used to it.
Community leaders, former employees, and friends of Dr. Patterson were thrilled to come together to celebrate this long overdue honor.
Anybody who gives back to the community, anybody who has ever needed help in their lives, will understand how big of a deal it is for somebody who's willing to do that. His house was open, his door was open, free dental care for people who needed it, and that's a big deal. Anybody who's willing to commit to improving race relations and actually put work into it, serve the community on different boards that we saw earlier, it's just a big deal. Those things are honorable and worth honoring.
The marker is located on the back side of Patterson Park Community Center. The Historical Markers program is a long-standing part of the Tennessee Historical Commission. For CityTV, Michael Linn White. Thousands of people came out to celebrate the longest-running African-American holiday in the United States for the annual Juneteenth celebration. The staff at Bradley Academy Museum has done it again. This year's Juneteenth celebration was a hit as thousands of people came out to celebrate Freedom Day.
We're just out here enjoying the day in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Lots of vendors, food, music as you can hear around, clothes, art, just enjoying life.
Juneteenth, short for June 19th, celebrates the day Union soldiers came to Galveston, Texas, enforcing the Emancipation Proclamation, 2.5 years after the historic document was signed. Although many enslaved people knew about the proclamation, it wasn't enforced widely until then.
Realize, no matter what color you are, that you need to value your freedom and the freedom of other people, because when you start not to, then your freedom can be taken away as well.
At this year's event, there was something for everyone. Bands playing, DJs and dancing, food trucks, craft vendors, and more. It's a great way to get out in the community, support local businesses, and to honor the significance of the day.
This allows some of the people who have small businesses to be able to have exposure at a price that they can afford, and puts them out there. Allows us to support those businesses as well. And it also allows people just to enjoy each other in a positive light.
Juneteenth is the longest-running African-American holiday in the U.S. and is now a federal holiday. Make sure to mark your calendar for next year's Juneteenth events. For CityTV, Michael Linn White. An exciting new plan for the downtown area is in the works, a project to draw people and businesses to this area.
A development team has showed interest in redeveloping city-owned property on Broad Street, from South Church Street to West Vine Street. The city's Historic Bottoms redevelopment plan, which is an area southwest of the downtown square, has identified this city-owned property as a mixed-use redevelopment candidate. The development team recently addressed the City Council following an October 2022 meeting.
City staff and the development team have worked over the last few months to revise the program book and also to draft a development agreement and purchase and sale agreement for the land, and we are available to discuss, hear your comments and thoughts about those in advance of a future council meeting. Our intent would be to bring these back at the next available council meeting. So the development team is here. They'll start with a short presentation.
But we did have a brief presentation over what we've called the Broad Street Redevelopment Project. I think that you'll remember we were here in October of last year. At that time, we had developed a concept plan of the project. We wanted to make sure that you were in general agreement that we were headed in the right direction with that plan. Coming out of that meeting, we felt like we had kind of have a thumbs up, and so in the following 6 to 7 months, we have fine-tuned that plan. We've also spent extensive time working with city staff to develop that development agreement, and so we did want to bring this back to you today ahead of any sort of vote and go back over those plan details and hit some high points on the development agreement. The development team is the exact same as what was here in October. Each one of us are thankful to still be on the team. The plan itself is largely the same when we were here in October. The hotel is still located at the intersection of Vine and Broad. The next building to the southeast of that is still what I've termed the condo building. I think we've moved around where that ground floor retail or commercial is going to be located a little. So the hotel will be on the left, condo building back on the right. This one we've reserved the right to go to a 5th story. We would need the 5th floor to get to that 100-unit count. You also get a good view of what this public space will turn out like. Then the intersection of Church and Broad, it is largely dominated on the ground floor by ground floor retail and commercial. So this is looking from the intersection of Church and Broad. You'll see that future pedestrian bridge over Broad Street there, really how this will reshape that view of downtown. And then on the opposite side of Church Street, that's where we're going to relocate WGNS. There will also be a residential building there as well. So the heart of this is exactly the same as it was previous. I think that we have increased the amount of parking in those parking garages. We want to bring a new face and a gateway to downtown. We want to bring that hotel to our downtown. That's an exciting element of the project. We're also looking forward to the connectivity between downtown and the bottoms. Did want to share some details of that development agreement. These are the exhibits, so really just outlining what property we would be purchasing. So everything here in gray. It's just under 8 acres in size. We're going to pay $5 million for that property. We will design and construct the improvements per the development agreement. So everything you just saw will be a part of that development agreement. But we're looking forward to helping the city really kickstart the vision they had in the bottom study, going on 6 to 7 years ago. So really excited between that and the Town Creek that you just talked about. I think can really create a new face to our downtown, draw a lot more interest.
Dancers from Poland put on a show at Linebaugh Library as part of the International Folkfest. As part of the yearly International Folkfest, dancers from Poland performed at Linebaugh Library.
This is an organization that comes out every year, and they bring dancers together from all parts of the world.
Dancers from Mexico, France, and the United States made several different stops in Murfreesboro to bring a taste of their culture to our community. For Linebaugh, this is part of the many summer programs for families.
In general, our summer reading program is to bring kids into the library during the summer months so that they keep reading, keep exercising their brains, avoid that summer slide, and just keep engaged and develop their lifelong love of reading.
Experiencing different cultures is one way to broaden a child's horizons, and events like this are designed to bring people into the library and have fun and an educational experience.
Experiences like the International Folkfest dancers, like our STEAM events, our story times, bring in different crowds so they can experience different things during the summer.
Make sure to visit the library's website, rclstn.org, for all of the fun and free events, and make sure to mark your calendar for next year's International Folkfest.
All of our programs are free. You don't have to have a library card to participate in summer reading, and you don't have to sign up for the summer reading program to come to the events at the library. It's all free and open to the public and all ages.
The City of Murfreesboro arborist talks about how to prevent a tree fungus from killing your trees.
The City of Murfreesboro's urban forestry crew had to take a fully mature tree down from the city's right-of-way because it was dying. The city arborist explains what the tree was suffering from and what you need to look out for.
Today I'm going to talk a little bit about a common fungus that we see around Middle Tennessee. It's really nationwide. It's called Maria diesta. The common name is brittle cinder. So this is a pretty aggressive fungus, meaning it spreads fairly rapidly throughout the tree once it's infected.
Trees are infected because of open wounds that a lot of times occur from weed eaters eating into the trunk. Fungus spores are carried by the wind into these wounds. If you have open wounds near the ground, mulch is recommended because there is no cure for this fungus.
I would consider it a dangerous fungus due to the type of decay that it causes on the tree. So this fungus attacks the cellulose and the lignin in the cell walls of the plant cells, which results in the wood tissue becoming very brittle and prone to failure. Another reason why it's fairly dangerous is the tree won't show any signs of stress. So from the outside looking in, you think, oh, this tree is perfectly healthy, the canopy is nice and full, but really it's the base of it's really compromised. So we see this a lot in trees like storm damage jobs that have uprooted across the road. I like to always look at those and see, hey, why this happened, or could this be prevented? And a lot of times you will see signs of this, but you have to be looking for them or aware. So at a young age, this fungus is gray with whiter edges. It kind of looks like a cushion or a pillow growing on the side of the tree. And then as it matures, it becomes black and reminds me of like burnt wood, or some people call it like charcoal. So this is a prime example. So this is an elm tree that we are working on today. From the outside, it looks really healthy, but here you can see we have, this is the mature stage of this fungus, is all of this brittle cinder. And so these roots, this fungus probably extends down into these roots past its root flare, and we're concerned with this tree because it encompasses, I would say, at least 50% of this base. And so this was one that we got to rather quickly once we were aware of this issue due to the location of this tree and potential targets. So if you have something like this in your yard that you see, make sure you're calling a local arborist or something to come out and maybe do a tree inspection for you and try to get it resolved before it turns into something a little worse.
Carson recommends if your tree is infected to keep an eye on it. If it's a small area, it might be okay for a while, but when it's spread across most of the base, he recommends it be taken down.
Once it encompasses 40–50% of that base, or maybe even a little less, depending on potential targets, you probably need to start thinking about having it removed before it does fail and land on something that is important to you. We're going to remove this tree. We're going to get it to a safe level today, and then we'll come back, we'll grind the stump, and carry away all the debris. Because even after you grind it, that fungus can still be spreading. So if you don't want to use this as mulch after you have it ground, you don't want to mulch around other trees because it will spread that way too.
Homeowners wondering what to do about what looks to be dead or partially dead vegetation around the home, the city arborist provides some insight.
In December 2022, here in Middle Tennessee, we all felt an Arctic blast like never before. Temperatures were down to single digits and wind chills in the minuses. Trees and shrubs were severely compromised, leaving homeowners with landscaping that looked dead, even evergreen plants. The question is, will these plants come back or are they gone? We asked the city arborist what he and his team are doing.
At this point, we're still kind of waiting, seeing what flushes back out. Some species we're going ahead and trimming back pretty hard, like our nandinas and some of our hardier bushes, and that'll promote them to push out some growth. Some of our hollies we're starting to see come back a little bit more. I'm curious to see what they do. Just kind of being hopeful at the moment. Not quite ready to cut everything down at the moment. If you got dead in your bushes or dead in your tree, you can go ahead and prune that out and start trying, especially like bushes, start trying to prune for a little bit of shape. As far as trees, you just want to try to prune back to lateral branch union. Hopefully let that sucker fill out a little bit more. You know, the fall is a great time to plant, so maybe just give it a little bit longer and revisit that issue in next fall when we can get some good plants in the ground if need be.
Visitors to the Wilderness Station recently learned all about owls and their superpowers. They also got an up-close encounter with a screech owl named Huckleberry.
If you are hiking through the woods at Barfield, you might hear a strange call. Visitors to the Wilderness Station recently learned all about this mysterious creature.
So we are here talking about owls and their amazing superpowers, which is silent flight. If you took a microscope to their flight feathers, they actually have what's called serrations, which is kind of like a comb, and they can comb through the air, and it helps them fly completely silent. And that makes sense. They're hunters. They have to be able to hunt their food at night, so they need to be quiet to help catch their food. Their eyes are extremely powerful. They're shaped like ice cream cones inside their skull. It allows more light to come inside their head. They have more rods, which means that their world is about 2.5 times brighter, so it helps them see in complete darkness. So what you might be able to see when he is blinking there is like a slight grayish diagonal line that comes down. That's actually a nictitating membrane. It's basically a second or third eyelid. So he's able to retract and close that eyelid on its own to help protect his eyes while he's flying or while he's eating. Another cool fact about owls is that great horned owl, that biggest owl we have in Tennessee, they have such good hearing, they can hear a mouse heartbeat about 100 feet away.
But you don't have to search the woods for owls. The Wilderness Station has a resident screech owl you can see up close.
So this is Huckleberry, our eastern screech owl. He's one of the many different types of owls we have in the world. And out of Tennessee, we only have about 4 owls that you can see here in Middle Tennessee. So eastern screech owls being one of them. We have the barred owl with those black stripes, the great horned owl, that biggest owl that we have in Tennessee, and then we also have the beautiful barn owl with that heart-shaped face. Screech owls are the second smallest owl that we have in Tennessee, second from the northern saw-whet. You won't be able to see those here. What's really cool about Huckleberry, believe it or not, he only weighs about 5 ounces. So if we were to think about it, if we took all the feathers off of Huckleberry, his feathers would weigh more than he actually does. So their diet comprises a lot of small rodents, voles, moles, mice. I wouldn't put it past an eastern screech owl to eat a bug or two, but mainly those small rodents is going to be on the menu, maybe a salamander or two.
Not only did the kids learn about owls, but they also participated in a hands-on project where they got to do a bit of detective work.
So the program itself includes a short demonstration about the owl superpowers, as well as an owl pellet dissection. That way the kids get a little bit more engaged in the activities we have here at the Wilderness Station, and they get to do a little bit of science for themselves. So some of the things they might find in those owl pellets, we gave them a little cheat sheet of what kind of bones they might be able to find, but the pellet itself is just comprised of all those bones, hair, teeth, and fur. So they might find some rodent skulls, maybe even some bird feathers, and who knows, maybe even some reptile parts.
It's not just owls you can learn about. The Wilderness Station offers a wide variety of nature programs for all ages.
The programming here we have at the Wilderness Station can vary. A lot of the times we are doing Wild Things, which is geared towards more toddlers. Every weekend we do animal encounters. That way you can see some of the owls or even some of the other reptiles or amphibians we have here up close. And then we also have some hiking with naturalists on Thursdays.
The Wilderness Station offers hikes to look for owls, but you can also spot them in the woods near your house. Charles tells us the best places to look for owls.
So if you were trying to look for owls yourselves, obviously being at night, usually towards dusk, that's when they're waking up since they are nocturnal. Now don't let the barred owl fool you though. Those ones that have the black stripes on their belly, those hunt all during the day, and you can actually see them here at the river at Stones River. For Huck, that one's kind of hard since he is kind of small. If you can believe it, when he gets scared or when he's trying to camouflage, he actually looks like tree bark, but cedar trees. Those red cedar trees, the branches are really close together, so he's able to hop between those out in the wild and he can stay camouflaged.
The Wilderness Station offers daily programs that let you learn and explore the natural world. For a list of programs, visit the Outdoor Murfreesboro website at murfreesboroparks.com.
Cultural Arts Murfreesboro has a fun activity happening at Old Fort Park every Wednesday in June and July. It's called a weekly pop-up art camp, where visitors can stop by and participate in a different craft each week. It's fun and free to participate.
Pop-up art camps happen every Wednesday through the months of June and July this summer, excluding the week of July 4th. And basically we just come out here and provide a craft for the patrons of the park and people in the community to do for free with us. Today we're doing chalk water marbling. So they'll shave a little bit of the chalk onto the top of the surface of some water, and the water suspends the chalk on top, and then they lay a piece of paper over it, and they get their pretty chalk art transferred to their paper. We'll also have demonstrations and children's performers at several of those events. So like today we have Kara Kemp and she's doing a storytelling. We'll also have children's musicians, and Cannonsburg is going to come do a demonstration for us too. In the next couple weeks we'll cycle through some different crafts. Throughout this month we'll do paper quilling, which is you just kind of twirl paper and bend paper into different shapes and make sort of a collage of paper art. And another thing we have going on is watercolor and salt paintings. So our goal is to kind of expose the kids in our community to things that they wouldn't otherwise be exposed to, and then add some things that they're familiar with. All of our pop-ups will be from 10 to 1 here at Old Fort Park on Wednesdays, every Wednesday through the months of June and July, excluding the week of July 4th. follow us on Facebook at Cultural Arts Murfreesboro. You'll get updates on when our next one is and possibly what we'll be doing then.
And you can also visit murfreesboroparks.com and click on Visual Arts to find more great events and programs from Cultural Arts.
The 44th Annual Telly Awards, the premier award honoring video and television across all screens, has recognized our own multimedia producer John Padgett here at CityTV with 2 Telly Awards, along with Lisa Trail and Tori Carr of Murfreesboro City Schools. They earned a silver Telly for the show Take 20, Murfreesboro City Schools show.
Hi, I'm Trey Duke, and welcome to another great episode of Take 20.
John also earned a bronze for a fire safety PSA, Close the Door.
I'm Sarge.
I'm Shan, and this is Sarge and Shan's Safety Minute.
Today we're going to talk about close the door.
That's right, Sarge, and why closing the door at night can save your life.
Did you know that half of all house fires occur while you're sleeping?
That's why it's very important to close the door at night before you go to bed.
Bedroom doors are designed to protect you from the smoke and heat produced by fires.
A closed door can keep heat as high as 1,000 degrees out of your room for several minutes.
That's enough time for the fire department to put the fire out and get to you safely.
Like we say in the fire service, close before you doze.
That's a great way to remember it. Close before you doze.
Close before you doze.
For more information, you can call us at 615-893-1422.
Murfreesboro Fire Rescue,
where safety is always first.
Congratulations, John, and we are so proud of you. Old Fort Golf Club's player development professional Emily Miller qualified last year to compete at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship at Baltus Roll Golf Club in New Jersey last month. There were only 8 PGA and LPGA professionals that qualified through the LPGA Professionals National Championship. One of the other 8 players was Allie Knight, a teammate of Emily's from MTSU. Here's part of an interview with Emily and Allie on the Golf Channel.
And Emily and Allie join us now, 2 PGA and LPGA professionals competing together here this week at the KPMG Women's PGA Championship. Ladies, what is it like just to have this experience getting to compete here together with one of your friends?
Oh yeah, it's awesome. I'm so glad Emily's here, and just to be able to show her the ropes, what to do, where to go. It's been just a lot of fun, and we've really been enjoying ourselves.
Yeah, we talked about on the way up here how many shots we've seen each other hit throughout the years. We've been friends for 12 years now, and I think I've wore her out with this tournament, all the questions I've asked, but she's been such a good sport about it.
The talented ladies at the Iron Brush Mural Company designed and painted the mural on Broad Street. This was a joint beautification project between the city manager's office and the street department to rehabilitate the intersection and highlight the downtown area. Street crews cleared the vegetation around the bridges, and new fencing was installed at the Broad and Main and Lytle Street intersections. We are excited that we have partnered with PAWS of Rutherford County since 2022 to bring you the Pet of the Month. July's Pet of the Month is Gigi. Gigi is a 2-year-old German Shepherd mix who came to PAWS as a stray. She was scared and covered in mites. She is currently being treated at PAWS and needs adopters who can provide follow-up vet care. Although she has faced many obstacles in her life leading her here, she proves to keep fighting for her dreams to one day have a family that will love her just as much as she loves them. Once you gain her trust, she will steal your heart. She loves to run, play, dance, and of course, beg for treats. She is spayed and up to date on all vaccines. For more information about Gigi or other dogs and cats available for adoption, contact PAWS at 615-898-7740 or email them at paws@rutherfordcountytn.gov. The Tennessee Department of Transportation has started improvements on a 3-mile section of Old Fort Parkway, Franklin Road between the I-24 interchange and Brinkley Road by converting the existing shoulder on both sides of the roadway, providing 3 travel lanes in each direction. The expected completion date is the end of August 2023, with most work completed during late night hours. Motorists should expect minor traffic delays when traveling Highway 96 during overnight hours. Well, that's it for this edition of In the City. As always, for more information about the City of Murfreesboro or any of the stories you've seen here, you can always visit our website at www.murfreesborotn.gov. And if you want to see any of the stories that you've seen today or catch up on some of the latest city news, you can always visit the City of Murfreesboro's YouTube channel. I'm Michael Linn White, and until next time, we look forward to seeing you in the city.